In this particular drill, we can already see, Brian, a great improvement in terms of your range and the sound of your feet on the floor, which is great. You can see here that the range of your knees, the height of your knees, this is what we're looking for. It's exaggerated, yes. And again, on the other side, the other knee coming up, again, we're looking to expand the range of that movement. Very good indeed. And I love the sound of the feet hitting the floor. Moving on to block explosion with a crash mat. The crash mat is there for you to focus on really driving out forward and keeping low. The objective is to drive out hard with the lead leg as if you're kicking the mat, but of course not dorsal flexing. What I'm looking to see here is your very first movement. Right here you can see you're actually beginning to jump upwards as if you're taking flight. What this tells me is that from your perspective, you're visualizing air time as opposed to floor and track time. In other words, you're exploding into the air rather than exploding forward, off and into the track. Now, this attempt is much better because you're driving your lead foot low and into the crash mat. Your triple extension here is very good, but somehow one of your arms has disappeared.
Go.
Unfortunately, that arm has now reappeared, as you can see. But this really is about timing and coordination.
Sit. Go.
There you go. Look at that triple extension. Look how low your foot is on the floor. Your lead foot. Excellent.
Sit.
Now without the crash mat.
Go.
Now, of course, this will take some getting used to. As you can see, you're stumbling out slightly. However, you're still hitting a fairly decent triple extension.
Go.
So once again, you have to focus on your timing. And we're losing your arm again, which tells me both arms are going backwards. So we need to work on you visualizing what your very first movements will be. Well, Brian, without a doubt, you've saved the best till last. If we break it down, you can see again going forward quite nicely. As you begin to get into the triple extension. Arms, I can see both arms this time. You're looking down at the floor, which is great. Now you're hitting a nice triple extension right there. This is what we want to get used to, and you're keeping your lead leg low. Excellent. So let's move on to the prowler. And Brian, I want you to keep an eye on Christine's ankle, how she's locking and not collapsing on each step.
That's great.
So let's pan around to the side so we can see how firm and rigid her ankles are. This requires strengthening and loading of the Achilles to make sure that each step is firm so we can sprint sharply off the track. So in somewhat of a sharp contrast, we can see here, Brian, where you're collapsing somewhat. By that, I mean your ankles are coming down lower than required. And so when you're sprinting, then you're losing a fraction of a second each time because of the lack of rigidity of your ankles. Now, this is interesting because you're moving faster, but you're not collapsing as much as I thought you would, which tells me you do have strength in your ankles and you are the one that can control the amount of rigidity that you put within each step. Now, as Christine increases the speed, you can see that her right ankle seems somewhat stronger than her left. There appears to be a bit of a collapse on the left ankle, which tells us we need to strengthen that area a little bit more. Here I'm demonstrating the first part of the push with just running and then switching straight into more of a bounding and more powerful style, switching here.
Yeah.
And here you see Christine flipping the script and showing the coach how it's supposed to be done.
There you go.
Now that's how you do it.